Hello everyone and welcome back to the ABL review for Season 18 of the East Division. Oh, they changed how Google Sheets looks and I don't like it. What's happening? I'm sorry, I just noticed it, and I don't care for it. Okay, but I guess we'll talk about the East. Now, again, let's head over to the schedule. So, we had another forfeit. Tyler couldn't make his battle with Logan, offered to forfeit. I spoke to Tyler. He said he feels confident that he will be able to do the final 2 games of the season. So that's good. Hate to see forfeits happen, but, you know, it's inevitable, and, let's just hope that these are the only 2 for the whole season. But moving on, let's talk about our first game of the week. We've got Connor versus Jabron. Jabron, kind of the surprise breakout player of the season so far, rookie season, and he's been doing very well. Let's get into this game here. So, Primate Bleed versus Toxpex, obviously not very good, but you know the Packin Earthquake's pretty nice for him. Those Toxpecs are gonna go up. That looks like a little bit of a problem. Oricorio's potentially his only defogger, because everything else is gonna kind of be affected. So we're looking out and see how that goes. And he does defog. Okay, I couldn't remember. I'm going to speed this up a little bit because I hate it. So we've got Quiver Dance versus Calm Minds happening right here. But Connor's just going to go ahead and immediately pass to Magneton. I like the play to just be like, okay, let's cut our losses, let's get Magneton and try to punch holes in this, because I've been on the receiving end of Floor just getting too many boosts and bad things happening. Although, since it is Calm Minds versus this +1 Magneton, I don't know if we see what item it's holding. Let's see if leftovers pop or anything. Nope, it doesn't. I don't know if this Florge is particularly scared, especially because of this. This is a great Terastallization, and followed it up with that Moonblast did a pretty good amount of damage. Great play by Jabron here. Great Terastallization. And then I think this Magneton must be choice because it forces it to switch here. Crazy that he went into Ting-Lu. I don't understand why that happened, because we did just see him click Moonblast the turn before, and you went into a Fairy Weak Pokemon. I don't particularly like that play. I think it would have been better to either let Magneton go down or go into Ceruledge as a Fairy Resist. So I think that probably would have been the way I would have gone. And then he doubles into Oricorio here. Now, that to me felt like, oh fuck, I shouldn't have done that. I need to sack something else. And he chose to sack Oricorio. Or maybe he thought that Jabron would have thought that the Ting-Lu would have been faster? I don't know. It's hard to read what happened there. I feel like it's more of a panic sack Oricorio play. Then Baxcalibur comes in, and then he doubles to Magnet. This I also don't get. Unless he's like Terra, Ground, Banded, Earthquake, I don't think that this Florges cares. So I do feel like Connor threw away 2.5 Pokemon for no reason at all here. Now Ceruledge comes in. Goes for the Bitter Blade. Like, this is what he should have done forever ago. I feel like this is bad plays, maybe like bad choices, and he tried to pivot, and he didn't play good here. Connor did not play well. It's been a little bit of a backslide season for him because I feel like he's had good seasons recently. Seen him play well. Right there absolutely bailed him out. That's the only reason this wasn't like an embarrassingly bad loss for him, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much else to say. Like, Jabron's in a pretty dominant position here. Like, Ceruledge going fighting is pretty good. I like that play there, but he is on a timer because of the poison. And then obviously Garchomp comes in, is going to be able to resist the Bitter Blade, Rough Skin, and Poison, and Life Orb. It's not really making up for much. Plus, you know, obviously gonna be able to live and get off a bunch of damage. The weak armor boost, I don't know, could have been cool. And it says, how's he end up dying here? He was hurt by the Rough Skin. That's a shame, not a Life Orb kill. But at this point, like, yeah, this Florge is just gonna be okay. Jabron played pretty good here, and he also didn't overplay himself. Don't understand why Florge is calm-minded here. Weird play. You just Moonblast and KO this Primeape. Because if that had been close combat, this Florges is dead. I don't really think you have a way to win from that point, but still. Would have killed the Florges. I don't understand the Calm Mind play. I think that's insanity. Because also, you know, 2 physical attackers left. They're not going to hit you on the special side. You're not really going to be able... It's not worth it. And then we just see close combat get these final 2. That crit might have mattered because I don't know if this is ABL Primate or something. But overall, Connor did not play well. Jabron played pretty well until that weird play at the very end. That one's in the books. Moving on to our next battle. Uh-oh, it's spoilers. Don't be look. So we've got Brett taking on Curtis here. Curtis still bringing Mousehold. I'm surprised. He hasn't been using it like I think a lot of people thought Household would be used. So I don't know how he feels about it, but rest of his team seems to match up pretty solid. I've been liking... Salamence has been a big threat for him. And the Volt Switch and like the pivoting potential of both Iron Treads and Rotom I've been pretty impressed with. So yeah, let's hop into this here. We're gonna put it on fast so nice lead for Brett here. Get the Breloom versus this. This is a little unfortunate because he goes for Bullet Seed and only gets 2 hits. Didn't want to risk only getting 2 hits again. So he's gonna switch out. I guess he wouldn't need 4 hits because the leftovers are covering everything. But Garganacle's gonna start setting up immediately here, and we see it go Grass. Awesome type in this matchup. It's the KO pretty quick there. Yeah, Garg's looking good here. Dual Wing Beat, and we also see the Rocky Helmet trigger there, so that's bad news for the Salamence. Gonna bring in and I'm also curious how he's gonna bring in the Iron Treads. I'm curious how people are feeling about the booster energy, because I haven't seen a lot of it used super effectively outside of like, I think I used the booster energy acro set. I think Brett might have used super energy or booster energy acro set on Roaring Moon. But other than that, I haven't seen a lot of booster energy usage that has been real impactful. I'm curious how people feel about that. Goes for the knockoff here, but Garganacl catches this Wish in a really good position. I like the choice to Terrasilize Pure Ground there, so that way he's not taking as much damage from the Solid Cure. I think that's a smart move. And also, well-used Mousehold here to stop basically an immediate loss for him. Like, if he didn't immediately go and Encore it, then he's in an awful position. So, well done there. The Tidy Up Baton Pass, don't know how I feel about that, just because I think it's the second time he's tried it, and we really haven't seen good results out of it. And obviously, just even with +1, this Ice Spinner's not going to be able to break through his Garganacl without a crit, and he's not getting it here, so, and well-timed body press, and then also, this is a really good read. Because I don't know that I would have been able to... I don't know that I would have made that read. It's hard to say since I didn't do the prep. But it'd be like, oh, Rotom's come in. He must have... I mean, he probably could have calculated it was offensive Rotom based on the interaction with Breloom. But to scout the trick and know that that's what it was going to happen, and then go into something that was going to be fat... Like, oh, I guess he must have calculated specs. I thought it was going to be... I thought it was Scarf for some reason. Which is really well played there. It worked out, and then obviously Nuzzle's going to protect him from being paralyzed, which is a big deal. We see the Salt Cure go up, and Garganacl's going to be able to set up a little bit here. Alright, yeah. Skip ahead just a little bit here until someone dies. Yeah, it's going to be the Hatter, and then he is afraid... he's afraid of the Encore, because he got bopped with that before. So he went out into the Breloom. I like that play. Brett's willing to sack the Bramblegast here so that way he can clean up with Choice Banded Crunch on Roaring Moon. Everything's low enough. He's fast enough where just everything's going to take it out. Yeah, really well played by Brett here. I really like the correct read that he was going to get his Garganacl tricked. I think that was a really good read. Screamtail did its job in passing wishes and getting good chip on Salamence. Just all around, and then also a great, just, you know, Garganackle show. Garg's been very good this season in both leagues. Probably, like, in terms of combined effectiveness across both leagues, I would say Garg's probably leading the pack in my opinion. But that's going to lead us to our marquee match of the week.
Marquee match of the week. Now we have a theme.
Our marquee match of the week was actually the first match of the week that went up. We got the Texarkana Toxics, coached by Papkun, taking on the Minnesota Typhlosion, coached by Zhang. Sorry, still learning the names and trying to say them for the marquee matches of the week now. This team looks really annoying on Zhang's side of the field. You've got, between the Regenerators and the Hazard Setter and the Aurora Veil and the Slush Rush Sweeper, and then there's also just a Dragapult. This is a very threatening team. I don't see you don't look at Papkun's team and see a lot of cohesion, but that's the beauty of Draft League, so let's get into it. So we've got the Greninja lead versus the Glamora. I'm surprised he just decided to U-turn here. I feel like I guess you're breaking a potential sash. I figured you'd hard switch though to avoid the potential toxic debris. Toxic debris, that's what it's called. Yeah, because now you have 2 layers of toxic spikes up. I'm surprised. We also see the knockoff there, which is presumably to try to hit a Dragapult that he thought would have tried to spin block. So interesting there. The Charizard's actually doing a fair bit of damage here too. With that Hurricane. Impressed with that. Chilling Water on the Golden Go. Doesn't really matter here. He's in a bad spot. I'm surprised he stayed in to eat this because if he knew he could live, shocking to me. Because I don't know that I would have felt comfortable staying in if I knew it was 67%. I don't even know that I would have calced. I would have just hard switched. Future Sight's going to go up. That doesn't really threaten his Golden Go too much. And Papkun makes a really good read here and goes for the Make It Rain because it'll definitely kill the Slowbro if he stays in. But if he switches to anything else, it's going to do a lot more damage. I really like the Make It Rain, personally. Now Zoomungus is on low health. He can switch the Slowbro, and he's able to lead up that Make It Rain. Now he's at -2. He's probably gonna have to switch again. Guessing like Bahamas Snow. Did a double switch? Oh, no, he just stayed in. That's a ballsy play, you know? Gotta give it to him. Because I don't like it. It's not what I would have done, but it worked out. But the fact that Papkun's not addressing these hazards is either I don't want to address these hazards until Glamora's gone, or I'm not gonna address these hazards. Which is fine. It's just a little bit surprising to me. You do have like 1, 2, 3 things immune to toxic spikes. 1 thing's already poisoned. Greninja doesn't really care about toxic spikes because it's always going to be switching. Interesting approach here. So yeah, I don't know. There's that. Golden Go's going to come in so that way it can't get spored or sludge bombed, or even if it Giga Drains or something. Goes off the Synthesis. This isn't something you see all the time. You don't always see reliable recovery on top of Regenerator Pokemon, but we see Slack Off and Synthesis on the 2 Regenerator Pokemon. This makes me think Zhang was like, this is going to be a long haul battle. I'm just going to let him get worn down by switching and just little bits of chip. But leftovers on quite a few Pokemon here is ensuring that Papkun's not going to be chipped that easily. Let's get back into it. Shadow Ball goes off. That does a good amount of damage. I think right here he's fishing a little bit for one of those Spadef drops, also keeping Slowbro out. But he does come right in. How did Zhang predict that a Psychic would come out there? Is that wild to anybody else? I must have missed that the first time around. Like, because he had to have predicted not Shadow Ball. Because if he predicted Shadow Ball, he's actively throwing away Slowbro. That's surprising. Look at that. It did 67%. 69%. Last time it did 67%. So that was an absolute roll he risked the Slowbro on before. Future Sight's gonna go up, but I think what are we gonna see Papkun do here now? Did he? No, I kind of wish he would have made it rain. Just get rid of this Obama Snow. But he can follow it up because of the Spadef drop. He can follow it up with Oh, we could have followed it up with just a Shadow Ball. Apparently doesn't want to risk that. Obama Snow goes down. And Golden Go didn't take that much damage. All things said, throughout all of this, Golden Go stayed pretty healthy. And I think he reveals Recover even later in the match. But the Sea Titan's going to get going here. Turns into a Water type, really smart. And able to follow that up with a Make It Rain. And KO the Sea Titan. Both Ice types are down. Papcone is in a fantastic spot here. Like, the Regenerators are a little bit difficult to deal with, and he still hasn't gotten rid of hazards, and still hard to, because there's a Ghost type and the thing that sets up hazards over here. But overall, he's gotten, like, the two biggest offensive threats out of the way, and hasn't lost a Pokemon yet, and honestly, everything, with the exception of this Golden Go right here, is relatively healthy. Yeah, and he just let the Golden Go down. No reason to switch around and lose health on stuff unnecessarily. And then the Scarf Ice Beam from Greninja comes out, clean KOs the Dragapult. Absolutely in the driver's seat now, because if he wants to get rid of hazards, he will at least have a good, easy time spinning. Iron Thorns comes out as that goes up. What's he doing here? I don't even remember, because I feel like at this point, yeah, he's going to put up his own hazard just to mitigate the Regenerator recovery that they're getting, so they get 33 back on every turn, right? But you're going to lose 12%, so you're only getting 21 back, and plus leftovers 20. So you really only, that is only really mitigating it by, what's that come out to, like 7% health, but still, any amount is good. I'm going to go hard back into Greninja, try to scare this thing out, because nothing now is resistant to Dark, which I guess was true earlier. Maybe you could have tried to do this with him. He's just going to U-turn, kind of predicting a switch, which I think is fair. Just trying to slowly chip this Slowbro down. Maybe he's going to try to take the opportunity to get Great Tusk in here. Oh, and now he rapid spins. So yeah, he was waiting for his time to do that. Granted, at this point, everything's off the ground or already poisoned, so it's really just for the rocks. But he's also able to knock off, like, Papcone's really setting himself up, and he's being very patient. He's not, like, trying to sprint to the win. He knows that he's in the lead, and he just got to maintain. A really good job of that. Pretty much sack Iron Thorns to that, because I don't think he's going to do much damage if he tries to get an attack off. Not bad with the Ice Punch. But, you know, the Synthesis gets rid of all of that. Oh, geez, he stayed in. I forgot that he was going to live there. Throws off another Ice Punch, gets the freeze on his way out on Slowbro. That's very funny, especially because now Slowbro doesn't have Scald. So Papson's going to get a couple of opportunities to try to hit Hurricanes here. Zhang's going to do the smart thing, go to Glamora, because A, dodge chance like that, and B, probably won't KO with a Hurricane. Gonna KO with an Overheat. Absolutely crazy. I really love that. This is going to give Slowbro some opportunities to wake up. Or sorry, not wake up, but unfreeze. And also, I like that switch there to just be like, I'm going to get if I get Slowbro in, I can get some Regenerator recovery back on it, which is going to buy me more opportunities to thaw. And then we see these Dark Pulses start to come out. I've run a lot of Rotoms in my day. I really don't like putting moves that aren't stab or support on them. This is a great time that he brought Dark Pulse. It's just nice neutral stuff to hit Amoonguss with. Try to keep it low. He's probably going to burn a Synthesis here. Yeah. But just something to pressure it that doesn't make you switch or drop your stats. This was, I think, a really good bring by him. Which is not something I think I've ever said of Dark Pulse on Rotom. But I really like the bring. You know, once Rotom goes down, it's just an opportunity for Charizard to get in, and he's going to be able to start to threaten him here. Hits that Hurricane, takes him out, and now just an easy Overheat for the win. Charizard really coming through this week. And you know what, on that note, first of all, congrats to Papcoon there. Really needed that win. Puts him in a good spot for the rest of the season. But let's head over to our MVP tab, where we do have Charizard tied with Roaring Moon for 3 KOs. Low peaks this week in the East. But Charizard, when the last time you see a Charizard as the weekly MVP? Speaking of which, adds to its KO total at 7 on the season. Garg, Salamence both at 9. Charizard surprisingly right behind it with 7. Sandy Shock's at 6. Doug Trio, Espeon, Florges, Great Tusk, Meowscarada, Passimian, probably more at 5. Life Orb still at 2. Didn't gain any this week. Only Baxcalibur and Goldengo are the only Pokemon to die in every game that they've come to. So there's that. Like that either. Okay. Let's head over to the schedule, kind of see what we got coming down the line here. We've got Curtis versus Tyler. Not too important of a match for Tyler. I think, actually, you know what, before we do this, let's head over the standings. So, with 2 games remaining, and the fact that playoffs is technically cut off at 6 teams because of the way we're doing it, for a team to be mathematically eliminated, they have to be, however many games are remaining, they have to be either more than that number back, or they have to be exactly that number back, and the team that they are behind has to own a tiebreaker over them. So, that means Tyler would have to be 2 games back. He is 2 games back, but he hasn't played Papcoon yet, so Papcoon doesn't own the tiebreaker. So technically, not mathematically eliminated. Even more so for Connor. Connor can get... Connor, I think, is probably going to play Papcoon this week, if I'm right, yeah. Connor plays Papcoon this week. He gets a win. He puts himself in a decent spot for playoffs. Brett, still undefeated, has essentially locked up playoffs. I think the only people who are theoretically in danger of missing playoffs are probably these 3 teams. No, I guess we can expand it here. Yeah, so these are the only teams. Maybe there's a world in which Logan could miss because he doesn't have the tiebreaker over here, but I think just the way things are going, yeah, it wouldn't happen that way. So yeah, technically these are the only 3 teams. Everyone else, so Curtis, Logan, Jabron, Brett, locked up playoff spots. Well done, and congratulations, especially to Jabron, first season in the league, made the playoffs. Has a pretty good shot of just straight up making it to the ABL North next season, just on wins alone. So that's very exciting. Good luck to Jabron for that. Now we can head over to these games. We can see what impacts they'll have. This one won't have much of an impact. Logan's gonna want to try to get one more win just because I do think there's a weird like nightmare scenario where Logan could lose out and just the right people could win and maybe he could get leapfrogged. I don't really think so. Jabron versus Zhang. Very important for Zhang. If Jabron wins, I think he might lock up a 2 seed at minimum, and he would be able to definitely make it to final playoff, like, you know, championship round of playoffs and the ABL North next season. It's very exciting. We already kind of talked about the implications for this one. This one doesn't have too many implications. Tyler's nearly mathematically eliminated. So, and I think Curtis is very safe since he has the tie. Oh, he doesn't have a tiebreaker over old SLD here, but what you gonna do? Yeah, I think that probably wraps most of that up, except we do have to talk about transactions, and there's a big one this week. A couple weeks ago, and if you already don't know it, which you should by now, if you can probably spot it on your screen here, Brett and I talked about, like, oh man, it's a shame no one took a Spothra because it's been banned in Smogon, and the fact that it didn't see any play this season means we'll probably have to bring it back. But Connor's making that push late season. He's not mathematically limited. He went and dropped Ting Lu and got a Spothra. Very exciting. Espathra is seen on the ladder as kind of an easy win button, so we're going to have to see how people deal with it in League format. Very exciting. But I think that about wraps this week up. Thanks again to Brett for all his great work on the document. Thanks again to D24 Design for 1, 2, 3, 4 logos over here in this division. And just thank you all for doing these games. It's always a pleasure, and thank you for your support on this podcast. Appreciate it. You know, sometimes I don't want to do it, but then people are like, "Hey, where's the podcast?" I'm like, "Gotta do it for the fans, not the gram. Don't do it for the gram. Don't like the gram." Oh, something happened with formatting here. You that have been watching Survivor on Paramount Plus. So Yeah, that about wraps that up. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.